Hola.
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 I don't have lupus. I'm from Mundo Ecléctico.
Wow. A new friend, my new family.
Hello. Now we are friends.
Yes.
Okay.
Susana. Me llamo Susana.
¿De dónde sos?
Soy de Rosario. Tengo 70 años. Hace 6 años me diagnosticaron lupus. Toda mi vida estuve atrás de un diagnóstico sufriendo muchísimo. Hace 6 años me hospitalizaron. Estuve muy mal, grave. En ese interín mi hija cayó enferma y no pude estar con ella en los últimos momentos de su vida. Y perdí a mi hija, el amor de mi vida. A partir de ese tremendo dolor, me organicé y creé Plura Santa Fe, en homenaje al amor. Bueno, y aquí estoy compartiendo con todos y bueno, y trabajando en eso.
Ahora después volvemos a hablar.
¿Cómo no? Chao.
My Spanish is very, very limited. Yes. My Spanish is limited. I know how to say few words. Thank you and goodbye. So thank you and goodbye. I wanted to first thank Gladell, the organizers of Gladell, Alua, my friend Teresa Catone, my friend Dr. Christina Drankin, for allowing me to come from the United States to talk about my favorite thing, which is lupus. In a few minutes, you'll understand why lupus is my favorite thing to talk about. Maybe it's because I don't have anything else to talk about and I'm really not that interested. But you'll find today that we're going to have fun. Do you want to have fun? Yeah. We've heard a lot of scientific facts. We saw charts. We saw graphs. We saw percentages. Now we want to talk as just people living with lupus, right? How many? A minute, okay. So I wanted today to share with you a couple of things about why we're here. My objective today is very simple. I'm going to talk about developing a successful support group, also advocating for lupus, and celebrating the lupus champions. That's why I came all the way 8 hours to talk to you. How many of you have enjoyed the Congress so far? It has been a great Congress. This is the best Congress ever. Can we give everyone a hand for putting this together? For us to just like in the United States, when we put together patient programs, everybody that needs to be here is not here. There are some people that you know said would have loved this today. I've been looking around and saying, wow, if we had this kind of support in America, in Atlanta, it would be so great. But I can think of a lot of people that were not here that missed it. But guess what? You were here. So I want you to give yourself a great hand for sacrificing your time and your money. So I want to know, how many of you, if you raise your hands and let me know if you're a caretaker or a caregiver of someone that has lupus, who is taking care of people that have lupus? Okay. Let me know if you are, raise your hand if you are a medical professional, clinician, researcher, or someone that studies lupus. Good. Now, let me know. I want to see show of hands. Now, if you would stand up, if you have lupus. Stand up. Wow. So sometimes when we live with lupus, people don't understand how bad it is. Sometimes you stand up for a few minutes. Sometimes you just want to scream and say, no mas. I'm tired. So I'm going to give you a gift today. On the count of 3, we know that lupus sucks. So on the count of 3, I want you to yell out, lupus apesta. 1, 2, 3. Lupus apesta. Okay, now No, very good. Because living with lupus sucks. I have been living with lupus since 2000. Look, bueno. I was diagnosed when my daughter was 7 years old. I had never heard of the word lupus. I didn't know what it was. I was so busy working and running and taking the daughter to dance and doing all the fun stuff and travel. And so for me to be tired all the time didn't mean anything because I did a lot of things. But then I started to get more tired and I'd wake up and I'd feel like I just was achy all over. And I started going to the doctor and he started asking me some questions. Are you tired all the time? Yes, because I do a lot of things all the time. Are you achy all the time? Yes. But, maybe I have the flu. And finally, they started to run some tests, and they came back and they said, you have lupus. And just like one of the other speakers said, they gave me some brochures and a lot of medications and said, go read this, have a nice life. I didn't even know what lupus was. No one I knew what lupus was. No one talked about lupus. Was I the only one in this world that was chosen to have something that no one knew about? Or was I crazy? Because I didn't look sick. We don't look sick. We look beautiful. So sometimes it's hard to recognize. So everything that I knew about my life, there was a young lady that talked earlier, changed. Immediately when I got diagnosed, I lost my job. They said, you're lazy, you don't want to work. So I lost my health insurance. I lost friends because they say, you can't do the things you used to do, you just don't want to. I lost a lot of things that represented who I was. Does somebody understand about when you live with lupus, things change. Your whole world, you have to begin to re-identify, who am I? My identity was lost. My daughter was 7. I thought about what is going to happen to her. I want to be around to see her live. I thought about, what did I do? Why did it happen to me? Why me? Did I not eat right? Did I not sleep enough? What was going on? And so, one of the things that I did as a lupus champion is I started thinking about, if this is so bad, then I need to find out how to make it good, how to make it better. Because I researched, talked to doctors, talked to people. Everybody had a sad lupus story. Oh, my friend, they had lupus, they died. Oh, my sister, they had lupus, they died. Oh, my cat. No, she didn't have lupus. So, living with lupus, we know that it is a challenging thing. That's why people often, I meet them and they say, I'm a lupus patient. And the first thing I think to myself is, you're a patient of who? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a clinician. You're not a lupus patient. You are a person living with lupus. We are people living with lupus. So once I got diagnosed and I lost my job, a few years later I did get another job, and as I was going through this, I felt isolated. I felt by myself, alone. No one understood. And I kept thinking, as big as Atlanta, Georgia is, somebody else has to have this disease. So what I did was I began to write an article and write my story. And you can tell I'm a very shy person. I put my story in the newspaper. And I said, if anyone is caring for a person with lupus, has this disease, to come meet me, I would like to talk to you and learn about that. 65 people showed up the first time. That meant my family just got bigger. That also meant that there were 65 other people that understood what it was like to live with this horrific disease. So for over 10 years, we started a support group. And a support group is really just what it is, support. It is strength. It is encouragement for other people. It's like I came to this Congress today not knowing that since Thursday, I met a great family of support. I met people from all over the world that we have one thing in common: lupus. How many of you, during your time at this Congress, met someone that you didn't know before coming to the Congress? Yeah. But for many of us, we came, we got the information, we may have come with other people, but we didn't talk to anybody. It takes everybody together, connected, to help us become better champions for lupus. There were things that I discovered about lupus that for me, that's what the day looked like every day. That's an average day in the life of a person living with lupus. We don't know if it's the medications. We don't know if it's the fatigue. We just don't know if it's the weather. We don't know if it's the stress. But days when I get up, some days I look like lupus. There are some things I want to share about having lupus. It's not all bad. There are times when I have lupus and my lupus is bad that I don't have to remember everybody's name anymore. Because you say, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Sometimes when I don't feel like I have to cook dinner, I'll say, I'm tired. It's my lupus. So lupus works sometimes when you don't want to do some things and you don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings.
I don't want to hear that.
You don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You say, I would love to, but today, lupus, I don't feel so well. Sometimes when you don't want to go to work that day, you say, oh, it's a bad lupus, I cannot come. So lupus, sometimes we can find ways that it works, but it is a bad, horrible disease. So what I want you to do right now, I know some of you have met some people. The thing that we talk about with lupus is that we are the face. This is what the world sees. They don't always see how badly we feel. We are the walking billboard. I shared that I told my story in the newspaper because no one else was talking about this disease. And I felt as though someone has to help other people to say something. Because everyone is hiding and afraid. Someone has to step out and say, I'm afraid too, but can we be all afraid together? So every day you get up, people see beauty. They see lovely. They see just amazing. But they don't see the inside. That's the inside. That's what they see. How are you going to share your lupus story? What are you going to say about lupus? I'm not saying everybody has to put it in the newspaper or put a big advertisement or go on the TV. But just in this room today, I want you to take 5 minutes and go say hi to someone you have not met today. Tell them your name and tell them, my lupus story is, and you share with your story. Come on. In America, we move. We get to know people because this is your familia. This is your family. We are all together because of lupus. If I did not have lupus, I would not know any of you. If you didn't have lupus, you would not know this side. But there will be some connection points that you know when you're not feeling well, that somebody that you met somewhere understands and can talk to you, and you can reach out. So just stand up. Come. Go say hi to someone. Tell them your name.
Hola.
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 I don't have lupus. I'm from Mundo Ecléctico.
Wow. A new friend, my new family.
Hello. Now we are friends.
Yes.
I can take it. Okay.
Other parts of the world. Some people say, I just don't want to do it. I don't like. I did not like politics. We must. You must tell stories. You must talk. We cannot be buried in our head in the sand or afraid. We must talk. Okay, so let's talk about support groups. I've given you, everyone has a handout. See. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the support groups. The importance of support groups. The first thing on our handout is everybody has a voice. Say voice. It is important that when you have support groups or you're working in groups, that everybody has an opportunity to share. That everybody's journey, experience is important. We've heard today and this week that no two lupus people are the same. My lupus is different from my sister's lupus. So everyone that comes and that you meet that has a lupus story, it's important. You want people to hear your story, right? You want people to understand. So when you are putting together a group, it's important that we give the respect so that everybody has something valuable to add. Now, sometimes in our group, people come and they don't want to say anything, and that's fine. You don't have to speak. Because a lot of times people come to the group to get information. And when they feel comfortable and they can relate to somebody, they'll start to open up. How many of you have been to a support group? Very good. How many of you have been online and been a part of an online group? And I want to say this about online groups. I support online groups. However, they are not medical doctors. They are not medical professionals. Some groups are just patients that have a voice. So we cannot take everything that they say as experts. Always check with your doctor. Because if a person tells me, well, I stopped taking this kind of medication, and I listen to them, and I end up in the hospital, can I call that person to come to the hospital? No. So we have to use common sense to understand some things on the internet and some people that talk may just be talking. And some groups on the internet may just be a place to be negative. A support group builds an environment where people share and there should be some positive. Now, living with lupus, every day is not a positive day. But be in groups that can encourage you when you are feeling sad. And not just say, oh, me too. The doctor said this, me too. I don't go to me too groups. I'm in a group that says you can do it, you can live, you are a champion. Say champion. There you go. So support groups are also here to promote accountability. Sometimes, now I'm going to talk for me. Sometimes I'm not good at taking all of the lupus medication. I'm the only one. No. There's another one. So there's another one. So support groups help become accountable. They help you to become accountable. When I started our support group, I hated water. I would not drink it. And the members in my group kept saying, everybody, water is good. It's good for lupus patients. It's good in general. When we started having meetings, they would say, Kim, do you have water? Where's your water? No. After the fourth meeting, there was 16 bottles of water on the table. And I could not leave the room until I drank some water. Support groups help us to be accountable and responsible for one another. Because we understand what it's like, and we understand how hard it can be. The other thing is support groups help us to empower. I did that second one. Empower. We are champions. It means that we help others when they're feeling bad, feel better. As a support group, we take a person's hand and we also help their heart. You don't have to be in a group to take somebody's hand or touch their heart. What you have is you have a heart to love and ears to listen. And people that care for people living with lupus have to have a heart to care and ears to listen. Because lupus people are always talking. We're always talking. Oh, this hurts. This doesn't hurt. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm this. So we need ears to hear and a heart to feel. It's important that a support group empower you. When you go to a group and you're around other people that have lupus, or you're around people that don't have lupus but are your friends, you should leave them feeling good. If you leave feeling sad, Dr. Codil said, get new friends. Get new friends. The disease is bad enough. I don't need anything else pulling me down. On the days you feel good, feel good. Celebrate. But on the days you feel bad, rest. Sometimes in a support group, there are people come that feel sad and depressed. It's okay to feel sad and depressed. I feel sad and depressed some days. But when I come around people that empower me and encourage me to say, okay, you feel sad? It's okay. What can we do to make you feel better? Sometimes your family, they love us, but sometimes they don't understand us living with this disease. So they say, oh, go to sleep. Go take some vitamins. Go exercise. Oh, if you do something else, don't talk about it, you won't feel good. Well, not that easy. Not that easy. Find a group that can support you when you're not feeling well. Find a group that can celebrate, party, and dance with you when you're feeling great. The next thing about it is when you're in a support group, it requires planning and preparation. I think about a support group and I ask myself these questions. Why would I come? What would make me come to a support group? What is it that I need? What is it that I want to give? And I plan for others to say, you know what? I would come to a support group if I needed some friends. I needed to talk to someone. I needed to get more research. I need to understand about medication. And so then I planned our meetings around not just guest speakers and professionals, but also to have fun outside. Let me say this in planning. Sometimes people are too sick to come to meetings. Sometimes people are tired. Sometimes people just don't want to come. Some of the things that we do is I create an environment that will come to you. So I may not bring everybody, but if you're not feeling well, and I know you're not feeling well, I may say, let's go to lunch. Let's go have some coffee. So support group takes planning and preparation. And then support groups need to provide a safe environment where people can talk and share. In America, we say, what happens in Vegas stays. You've been to Vegas.
Stay.
That's what we say in the support group. What happens here stays here. Create that level of confidence, confidential, and trust and respect. Because people, when they trust you, they become your friends forever. You want to go to a place where you are heard and you feel safe, don't you? See? When people come to you, that's what they're looking for. Safety, security, honesty, trust, accountability, and responsibility. So when we talk about lupus, we talk about your story, empowering. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we publicize and get the word out about our support group. One of the things we do is word of mouth. So when I'm talking about lupus and talking to a group of people, I find people that have a big mouth and energy like me. Because some people say, oh no, I don't want to come. But you find someone that has that energy that you can sit back and they will go out and get you. I ask people, if you're going to come to the meeting, bring 2 people. And ask those 2 people to bring only 1 person. When you are my friend, you know that I talk about lupus all the time. I worked in lupus research in Emory. I worked for the Georgia Lupus Foundation as an advocate. I go in the grocery store and people say, that's the lupus lady. I go on TV. I write articles. I do radio shows. This is not because I woke up one day and said, I want to do this with my life. I went to school. I have a degree. I want to do other things. But this was an area and a way that I can make a difference to help and empower somebody else. That when it was bad, lupus is bad, lupus is good, and lupus is ugly. There are days that I meet people that it is ugly for them. There are days where you meet people and you hear stories and where it's ugly for them. What can you do because you have this disease that can help somebody? And that is support. Working with different groups, working together. Sometimes at my job, there are people that understand lupus and will come and say, my mother has lupus, my cousins have lupus. And so you start conversation. You don't wear the big lupus badge. You just talk. Word of mouth. They come to you. When they know you, people will come. The next thing is we use the flyers and we pass them out. We pass them out at doctor's office. We pass them out at rheumatology office, dermatology, nephrologist office. We pass them out all over the place. We put them on our Facebook page. We use social media. We Twitter. We tweet. We do everything to try to get people to come. Now, will everybody come? No. You do all this work and you get 3 people. It's I see someone nodding over there. It's very discouraging. But if you got 3 people that were energy like me, how good would your group be? Yeah. Yeah. So keep going. Because 3 people will come back and may tell another person or another person. Never get discouraged when there's not that many people there. Because people will constantly hear about you, they'll come and they'll grow. It may mean that you have to go try to find another way to go find out where they are. So in the very beginning, I went to the doctor's office and I would sit in the waiting room looking, and I kind of would go, "Do you have lupus?" I think I was a stalker.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Qué tal?
Come back now.
We're friends.
Yes.
Okay.